Welcome to another podcast of the current situation at Manchester United. Yes, it's been a while I've done a video podcast. I've been on that rock ever since. But I didn't want the month to finish without me just putting no content out there, because I haven't been actively uploading videos in relation to Manchester United or in football in general. And I wanted to finish the month on a high. So in doing that, I wanted to do a video podcast. And it's in relation to Liverpool's triumph against the Champions League trophy winners, Chelsea. Now, this is going to also be in relation with Manchester United. This is not going to be a Manchester United related video because Liverpool's win against Chelsea points out something about football heritage which I want to discuss, which I don't really want to get long on. Manchester United, Jose Mourinho, who used to manage Manchester United, did a press conference about almost 4 years ago. Yeah, I think it was a preview against Brighton at home in the FA Cup, and because Manchester United lost against Seville in the Champions League round of 16, given that Manchester United was going to play against Brighton, Jose Mourinho had to do the press conference, and in that press conference, he let go. As we would say, he let go. He let all his cannons loose. And at the time when he did the press conference, I didn't find any context to it. I was like, okay, where's this rage of rant coming from? I wanted to know what was the source or the basis of this rant. And throughout the years, Jose Mourinho has a knock. I don't know if it's a Portuguese thing, but Jose Mourinho and Ronaldo has a knock for proving others wrong. Doesn't have to be in that situation, but over time, as time presents itself in the course of a year or two or three, what these players have done, particularly with Jose Mourinho, what he has said, certain statements he said, which may seem contradictory at the time, has proved to be beneficiary and true as time went on. For example, going back to this press conference, he spoke of football heritage. And that, man, these notifications. And that press conference, I don't think I've ever seen much of a damning press conference that put Manchester United's weakness and Manchester United's lack thereof success in the headlights. I've never seen a press conference like this. And what he was basically saying was he wanted to point out the weaknesses of Manchester United's squad starting with 2011. How they qualified, what competition they qualified for, and what was their longevity in the competition they qualified for or the competition they dropped out of and they went into another competition and they dropped out of that. And he started with 2011 when Manchester United went onto the Champions League final and lost 3-1 to Barcelona. Now, in that press conference, he was basically stating that Manchester United's squad has not evolved properly. And that is true. Because we at least today, we still have players that are on the verge of becoming decades, as I would call it, decades, or candidates of being centurions, meaning they have over 100 appearances, but they haven't really done anything. Luke Shaw is on the verge of being at the club for almost 10 years. We have Phil Jones, who has been at the club for 10 years and some more. 10 years and some more mean that he's been at the club since 10 years and 1 year. Because he came in summer of 2011 from, I think it was Bolton or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, we have the squad that Jose Mourinho had, looking back from 2011 to 2018 at the time he did that press conference, Manchester United has not evolved. They've got great signings, but it has not worked out, and the club on a football basis. I'm not talking about sponsors, deals, and financial. I'm not talking about that aspect. I'm talking about the aspect of the game on the football pitch. It hasn't changed. And that is what Jose Mourinho was airing out in that press conference. Now, some person may say, okay, bro, we didn't need to know all of that. That was not needed. But it points out the fact that Manchester United is not going to compete for top tier trophies. That was the bit, because when he said that coming second place with that squad was his greatest achievement, even myself, I laughed at that statement. I didn't get the basis or the reason for that statement. Or are you going to say that aside finished second place, although we finished about 12 to 16 points behind Man City that season, how could you say that was the greatest achievement when you're the one that you have won Champions League with Monaco, you have won, no, not Monaco, you played against Monaco, but you won it with Porto. At a senior moment right there. So you won the Champions League with Inter Milan, a seasoned, ripe, veteran-based Inter Milan side in 2010. You beat Bayern Munich in the final. You beat Barcelona in the semis or quarter final. You have won great trophies, at least one trophy, league trophy with Real Madrid. That was one of the best Real Madrid sides. So how can you say that coming in second place with this Man United squad was the greatest achievement? Us looking at, I put myself in that category. As you can tell, I'm back in the black. We didn't believe in that statement, and he made comparisons with Manchester City, who has been the big dog ever since 2011. They won the league in 2011. I'm pretty sure they came about second or third place in the following season. They won the league again the following season. And they won a couple trophies and about four premierships moving onward under the leadership of Pep Guardiola. And he basically stated that the football heritage of both sides is completely different. The way how different sides like Man City and Manchester United has invested in their players is very different. This is my point of this video, and I'm going to relate it to the champions, although it's not nothing to brag or boast about or sing over the hills about. But this is in relation to the Capital One Cup winners, Liverpool. What was Liverpool? Let us go back a bit. In 2015, in 2016, Brendan Rodgers was just sacked as Liverpool's manager. Questions were airing out as to who was going to lead Liverpool forward. Now, even when I call him Brenda because my man is in this disparate piece of form right now for Leicester. I think he's going to get sacked from Leicester. But when he was at Liverpool, Brenda, as I would call him when he's losing his games, Brenda was not, he had decent moments with Liverpool, but he was just not the sauce that could lead Liverpool forward in winning major league trophies. So he was sacked. Now look at the squad that Brenda left Jurgen Klopp in fall of 2015. You had players like Sako, Raheem Sterling, who was arguably Liverpool's best player in the 2014-2015 season, wanted to go to greener pastures. He was surplus to requirements, so he went I was about to say Man City winning the Premier League, but it was actually Chelsea that won it at the time. He went to Man City for 50 mil, is me. But the squad that Liverpool had at the time, person were saying, okay, Liverpool, Klopp has done bits at Dortmund, but he's not going to change this Liverpool side. This Liverpool side is just piece of woods, man. It needs clearing out. Because they had players like Coutinho, they had Origi, they had I think James Milner was signed that particular season from Man City. They had Klein was signed, and they had other bang-average players like Henderson was evolving, Khan was there, Alberto Moreno was there, Sturridge was on the fringes of retirement because he was just full of injuries. So the squad was not was not that great. Coutinho was the main man of the side. But during that season, although it was Klopp's first season, that season prepared Liverpool for the Liverpool that it is right now. It has prepared the Liverpool side, and I'll tell you how, although I'm not a Liverpool supporter. But it just proves that football heritage is real. Look at what is happening at Chelsea. Now, Chelsea has evolved pretty much after they sacked Frank Lampard, which was a rightly move because Frank Lampard didn't know what he was doing, and even persons will argue to this day that he doesn't even know what he's doing. But look at this sides of Liverpool and Chelsea. Now, Chelsea has always been doing their bits because they won the Champions League last year, and they won the league in 2017 and in 2014, and they have won some trophies, some minor trophies in between. But with Liverpool, they went to the League Cup final and they lost. That was the starting of things to come. Persons believe that when you lose, you're just not good enough or it's not going to prepare you for greater things. No, when you lose, you're learning from that experience. So you could say that lose, you can take it either way. You can take it with a good step of faith that yes, although you lost right now, you're going to become better as time goes on. Or you're going to take it from the premise that this squad is just not good and it's going to take hell and bury to just move the squad in a proper position to win the Premier League or win Major League trophies like the Champions League. But Klopp saw the weaknesses in that squad. He didn't complain about it. He worked with the hand that he was given. He worked with the cards that he was given in his hand. He brought that side to the Euro League final. He beat a Dortmund side that was arguably better than that side against Tuchel. I wonder who Klopp is going to be playing against in the final. And he beat that side at Anfield. And that side went to the finals and lost against Sevilla because that's Sevilla's that's their bread and butter. You can't mess with Sevilla when it comes on to the Euro League, right? So afterwards, Liverpool, they had Firmino. Yeah, I forgot that Firmino. Yeah, they signed Firmino, but Firmino was not the Firmino of 2017 or 2018 or early part of 2019. Firmino was becoming into the Firmino that Liverpool fell in love with. The following season, before the start of 2016-2017, Klopp, I saw a few clips, Klopp indoctrinated an intense amount of training. Now, this was where Klopp needed to rejuvenate himself because he did pretty poor when he left Dortmund. Give me a second, okay. He did pretty poor when he was at Dortmund, and he left for Liverpool. In the season following up to his first full season, he knew that he had to dish out a lot of players, but he knew that Liverpool needed to sell to sign. Liverpool is not a side that has a lot of money. You see me? So he knew that he wasn't going to just go there and just get the top tier players, although he's a top tier manager himself. He knew that he couldn't do that with Liverpool, not as yet. With the handful of players that he had, with Saka, with Henderson, with Khan, with Milner, with Coutinho, with Mane. Mane was signed as well that season in 2016-2017 season. He wanted to make that side his own. He wanted his own side. And the players he signed proves that. Sadio Mane, if anyone knows Klopp, anyone that knows Klopp knows that Klopp is a manager of intensity. He's a pressing manager. Most German managers usually are. He's a pressing manager, and to do the type of pressing that he wants from his players, you have to be fit and very athletic. And no better player at the time would fit that criteria other than Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane, yeah. So when he signed Sadio Mane got the ball rolling like that. He got at least, I think, 2 goals against Arsenal in his first game of the season, or at least one or something like that. And that season transitioned Liverpool into not greater things, but it just shows you that with his full season, he assessed during preseason, he assessed the side, he saw the weaknesses, he needed a plan to go from point A to point B. Maybe his expectations wasn't to win the Premier League, but he wanted to at least get top four, to at least get Champions League football, to see if they can progress from the previous season. That was, I'm pretty sure that was his expectation. My man wasn't looking forward to winning the league unless he was on weed, if that was the case. He knew that he couldn't win the league with that side, although although Leicester won the league with a weaker side. But they worked as a team, they worked as a unit moving forward. But with this side, Klopp wanted his own side. And that started with the signing of Mane. I'm not going to get deep into it because I want to be finished by 30 minutes. But this is the reason why I brought up football heritage. The following season, 2017, the big man himself signed for Liverpool. That was Salah and a few other players that I'm missing right now. And seeing that Sturridge was no longer the main man or the face of Liverpool, considering his depth of injuries, Salah, as his first game, he got the ball rolling. It was in a draw against Watford, I remember, because I was watching the game. This was more of a club side because it was more pace driven, it was very intense, attacking wise. Yeah, it was no club side is no creative side whatsoever where you have creative midfielders in the middle looking to get chances. That is not Klopp's claim to fame, at least at Liverpool. He wanted that midfield to be very athletic but not as creative because he wanted the damage to be done by his front three men instead. He wanted the midfield three to win back the ball and give the better players to do the damage. That is the basic MO of Klopp's football. No, it's not basic. It may seem basic, but it's not. It's really not. It's really not. For one, you have to be very athletic and fit to do that type of football. And to be doing that at 90 minutes to win the ball at the earliest time possible, that is not easy. So anyway, the transition of the Liverpool squad was becoming better and better. And that started with 2018. Now, of course, Liverpool started doing bits in fall of 2017. But when 2018 became alright, and that is relating to Klopp's selling of Coutinho, persons didn't really like that sale, because some Liverpool fans were saying, okay, I get that you want the money, but why sell Coutinho when you're in the Champions League? Why sell Coutinho when you're looking to try to win the Champions League? Why sell Coutinho when you're trying to get top four or possibly? No, I don't think Liverpool could have won the league because City was just leading by an insurmountable amount of points. So that the league was just out of their sight, is me. But in the Champions League, the sale of Coutinho didn't sit well with Liverpool fans. And Klopp tried to convince him to stay, but my man wanted to go to Barcelona and get paid probably twice as much as he was when he was at Liverpool. But the point is this when it comes on to football heritage. Ever since 2018 and that season was the trademark of a different Liverpool. Then the following season, Liverpool won. Not only they came second place, they won the league with they didn't win the league. I'm on a roll right now. They came second with 97 points. Mane and Salah became Premier League top goal scorers, sharing it along with their African how I should say this now, ally or countryman, not countryman because they're not from the same country, but from the continent partner Aubameyang at Arsenal. So the Liverpool, ever since they have won the Premier League, they have won the Champions League. Yes, I'm skipping over a few stuff, and they have won the best in the world trophy that they played against some small. I think it was Santos or some Brazilian side. They won it. But the point is that Manchester United has no excuse for not winning at any trophy ever since 2017. Liverpool now was no Liverpool but then in 2017. Ever since, our progression has not been successful. Now we have gotten great players. We've gotten Zlatan Ibrahimovic in his last chapters of his prime. We have gotten Henrik Mkhitaryan, who was arguably in his prime, but he wasn't serving up that prime time on the football pitch for Manchester United. We had Memphis Depay, who we thought would be the main man to be the face of Manchester United's number 7. That didn't work out. We have had Falcao, we have had Di Maria, we have signed Romelu Lukaku. That didn't work out. We have signed Alexis Sanchez. That didn't work out. We have signed a few other players that are deemed great or good players, but they haven't transitioned. They haven't won us any trophies. We have come close in the final against Spurs in the not in the FA Cup. No, in the FA Cup against Chelsea, and Conte won against us in the final. Yes, so just shows you that Manchester United's progression of evolving squads has been very poor. Now Mourinho said this, and this is true. He said in a few years' time. No, I'm not saying this verbatim, so I'm not saying it word for word. But he was basically saying that when you look at the squad, yes, my lips are very dry. It's about -1 degrees right now. But he said in a few years' time, at the time, he said that in a few years' time, this Man United squad is going to still have Romelu Lukaku, which isn't true, but he went to Inter Milan, then to Chelsea. He said in a few years' time that the hair is going to still be there, which is true. He said I think he mentioned Paul Pogba, which Paul Pogba is still here. And personally, I've seen that Paul Pogba signed with Manchester United on false pretense, because he signed because he wanted to win the league with Manchester United. That's why he signed. He didn't sign it to just kick it with a young Rashford and a young Jesse Lingard. That was secondary or a beneficiary. But the reason why he signed with Manchester United was to win the league. And when he hasn't won it, he has not won it. He's won the FA Cup, not the FA Cup. He's won the Capital One Cup along with the Euro League and the Charity Shield or the Community Shield, and that is not enough for a player or a caliber of Paul Pogba's level. So with the squad that we currently have, we have great players, at least in name or at least on paper, but in relation to the football on the pitch, it hasn't done any justice whatsoever. Yes, Mace Greenwood has been removed from the training camp. He's removed. My man is serving time, not behind jail, but he's serving time alone in solitary fashion. And our squad right now, we have had chances to win trophies, but Manchester United hasn't shown that they're trophy winners. They haven't shown that mentality. We don't have a captain that has the mentality of winning trophies because he's not used to that. My man is from Hull City and he went to Leicester City, and then he thought that because he played for England in the World Cup, he's good enough to be captain. So with the Liverpool's triumph, I'm finishing up right now. You know what? I didn't explain the way how I should have explained it, but I know some of you guys are very articulate and understanding, so you get the point that I'm trying to portray. But Liverpool's win against Chelsea proves that the Liverpool side, ever since 2016, has evolved massively. They have gotten the poison out of their system, i.e., the dead wood out of their system. They still have some dead wood, but the difference is that some of that dead wood is very vital to Liverpool's squad. Milner is not sold, and he's one of the pioneers of the early Jurgen Klopp's era. He's been there since 2015. Origi has been crucial ever since 2016. That dude, they're not going to sell that dude right now. They're not going to sell him, although some persons have been saying they need to sell him so that he can play his football elsewhere. But the reason why Liverpool is keeping him on, among other reasons, is because this dude knows how to keep his composure in the biggest games. We have seen it against Dortmund in the EuroLeague quarterfinals in 2016. This dude proved himself against Barcelona at Anfield, getting 2 goals or 1 goal. That would get Barcelona out of the tournament. He scored a goal in the Champions League final, and he scored other crucial goals. He scored goals in the Merseyside derby, beating Everton at Anfield. So they cannot sell this dude. He's crucial. He may be dead wood, but he is effective and positive dead wood that has the chance of doing something when he comes on the pitch. This is no Phil Jones or no. Origi is basically the Liverpool's version of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's why they're not selling that dude. They're not selling that dude. But anyway, the squad, looking at the players from 2016 of Liverpool, looking to now, the squad has massively improved. The football on the field has massively improved. The investments have massively improved. The maintenance of great players have massively improved. Yes, Firmino is no longer the same player of old, but he's still in the fold because he still has something to offer on the football field. You see me? Money is not the same money as 2 or 3 years ago. That's why Liverpool has invested in the selling of Lucas Diaz. Liverpool is looking to transition into better to transition their squad. Salah is 29 years old. I'm giving it that Salah has about 2 to 3 years left in his peak. But in a few years' time, or at least starting with next season, possibly, I'm pretty sure that Jurgen Klopp, before he leaves Liverpool, is going to be looking for Mohamed Salah's replacement. Yeah. Persons are saying that Steven Gerrard should be the next Liverpool manager when Jurgen Klopp leaves. I don't think, well, it's not on me to say because I'm no Liverpool fan, but I don't think any proper, sensible Liverpool fans for that matter, would want a young Stevie Gerrard in his managerial career to go in a situation where it's kind of upbeat for him. Yes, he's going to get a good reception because he's a Liverpool legend, but like someone said on Twitter, someone said that if Gerrard was not Gerrard for Liverpool, would you still, as a Liverpool fan, appoint this dude as Liverpool's manager? Now, that's a good question. Because you want to make sure that the success is not brought to a halt when the other manager has left the club. Like Klopp has left the club. You want the success to be on a progressive side. Isn't me? You don't want it to be plateaued or stationary or dormant. Like Manchester United. We haven't won a trophy since Donald Trump was in his first year as president, and that's in 2017. Now my man is out of the office. He's no longer there. So the progress of Liverpool has shown that football heritage is real. Manchester United we need to eat our humble pie a bit and try to peak in the camp of Liverpool and see what is their recipe for getting better. Different sides have different ways of getting success, right? But what is the basic recipe that has led Liverpool to this point? And that is because of Jurgen Klopp. He's won 5 trophies with Liverpool right now, and rightly so. Now, some persons may be saying, and I've heard a few pundits say this, that yes, Liverpool has won trophies for the last 5 years, but they should have won more. And that is true. Person may say, man, if Man City wasn't in existence, Liverpool would have just dominated the league and just do their damage, and that's true. But with Manchester United, this just shows you that we can make the best signings wherever. Dude, nobody knew what Mane was about. Yes, he was doing better at Southampton, but nobody knew the great player that Mane could have been for Liverpool. Now, right now, Sadio Mane is a centurion for Liverpool. He has over 100 goals in our competition for Liverpool, and he has about 104 or 106 league goals in the Premier League. Yeah, and Salah came into the Premier League again after being somewhat of a failure for Chelsea. And he has over 150 goals for Liverpool. And he has over 100 goals in the Premier League for Liverpool. And they signed him for at least 32 or 34 mil. Now Manchester United is signing great players or good players for 90 mil. Hey, we're signing a centre back for 80 mil. And he hasn't been on the Champions League stage, but because he's English, that puts the ante on the price tag. So it goes to show that Manchester United needs to take out a blank book page, or not so blank, but we need information. We need a set plan to bring us to that point. And personal for me, although I don't want Ralph Rangnick to be here permanently, but Ralph Rangnick has started something that may be a dynasty in time for years to come. He's looking at a few young players that can transition Manchester United into years to come. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signed Jadon Sancho to be the future for Manchester United. It's me. I need to finish this video. But I hope you guys get the point of this video podcast. Manchester United has failed with... No, again, a lot of United fans laughed at Jose Mourinho and say, man, what are you talking about? Yeah, man, we're going to get better in the next few years, man. Relax yourself and just cut. But Jose Mourinho, that press conference of Jose Mourinho has proved that Manchester United has not invested in their squad properly ever since 2011 and going back to 2018 when he did the press conference from 2018 till now. Yes, we have gotten great players, but those great players haven't been great for Manchester United. We have spent bucks on Lukaku. My man hasn't at least, touched 50 goals for Manchester United in our competition. It just goes to show that Manchester United needs to invest better. We need a proper... we have a director of football right now, but I know that's going to come with experience being Man United's director of football, but right now we have to take a leaf out of the book of Liverpool, although we're rivals. But it's time to eat the humble pie and just sit down for a second and think of what Liverpool has done ever since 2016 till now for them to be a progressive side. Liverpool is now one of the top tier teams in the world. Manchester United is one of the best clubs in the world, but we're not one of the best teams in the world. We're not. And the football shows that. Yes, we have good names on the football pitch, but the football is not showing that this side is progressive. We'll see what Ralph Rangnick has in his last 3 to 4 months as manager for Manchester United. Leave your comments down below on what you think on the concept of football heritage and in relation to Liverpool success. You think it's out of bounds, or you think that it doesn't really matter? Leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe to the channel. Click that bell as well, and I'm out. Peace.